Again, thanks again for listening to our to that presentation. Thanks, Joe, for your piece there. And we have some questions lined up here. Yeah. So, Joe, I'll let you answer the first question here.
Are you doing it now?
Can you hear me? You can hear me okay, Joe?
Yes, I can. Thanks, Conrad.
Okay. Somebody else needs to mute, but okay. Joe, the benchtop extrusion device is a huge success for your team. What do you see next as a way for us to proliferate this across the nation?
Yeah, that's a good question. It's actually kind of hard to proliferate educational materials around for a variety of reasons. But as I mentioned in the talk, I have seen a lot of discussion in this arena, university, community college level, and even just standalone workforce development in terms of adding smart manufacturing educational modules to programs. So that's been great. And even throughout Penn State here, there's a lot of chatter about that, and a lot of programs are updating right now. Specifically in terms of this actual toolkit and getting it out, it's just continuing to spread the word. Working with the faculty here at Penn State, I presented at ASCE this year on the materials, and so just trying to talk with the community and spread the word. Professors, like to use materials when they can get it, but they also like to customize. So it's always a challenge.
Now you are going to leverage them at the new Kensington facility, right?
Absolutely. So we're as I mentioned in the video, we're using them now. We're setting up a few other installations across Penn State so that I could potentially deliver this course material remotely across the state, or have those groups deliver them locally. So.
Okay, great. So here's, thank you, Joe. Another question that came in: do you have education for small and medium manufacturers? Well, let me tackle this one. I talked about the knowledge portal, and some of the education that we have in the knowledge portal is also available publicly on YouTube. So we have a YouTube channel, and we have on our website a lot of resources. But we definitely want small and medium manufacturers to also feel they can reach out to us, become part of this ecosystem. We have on November 10th, we're going to demonstrate our assessment tools, and these are all part of a acceleration toolkit that is really meant for small, medium manufacturers. There's a lot of consultants serving the larger manufacturers, but we are very focused on creating a tool set that actually starts with a lot of do-it-yourself kind of tools, and to try to reduce that cost. And we also are building a network of consultants and training a network of consultants focused on small, medium manufacturers. And you will hear more about that next year. But if you're interested in the short term, please reach out to us, and we'll get you hooked to some of our consulting friends here and system integrators. Let's see. How do you balance education for the talent pipeline versus existing workforce? Well, these projects, like the one Joe worked on, and we have 4 in flight that I talked about, are creating great curriculum. A lot of it is at the university level, but a lot of these folks that are creating at the university level are also thinking about upskilling programs and adding those to their education available. Joe, I think Penn State is also looking at it that way, right?
Of course, especially here in New Kensington in the Pittsburgh area, we're standing up a digital foundry, which is now a partner with CESMII to do training specifically for workforce development up and down their chain. And it's very exciting for us to be able to work with the manufacturers in the area directly instead of just with undergraduate students.
Yeah, great. And related to that question, I have one. Do you have modules at the community college level? And can we purchase some of these resources and add them to our programs here? So, Joe, is that machine available for purchase? What are we?
Like I always told you, Conrad, we can't really build to purchase here, but I'd be happy to talk with you. I saw those questions in the comment box. Please reach out to me.
Yeah.
You know, my students are actually engineering technology students, you know, one step closer to community college. A lot of the materials we've developed and the partners are working on are community college level. It's a matter of the audience and tuning it to their practical application. So please reach out to me. I'd love to talk with any teams that are looking to add those modules in. I could talk about our modules and then maybe some best practices and see how to integrate it in with your specific coursework at the community college level. I think community college is extraordinarily important. The trades, as you know, Conrad, is a big part of it.
Yeah, and I think in some of the sessions today, as you guys heard about El Camino Community College we're working with, where CESMII is also working with LA City College. So colleges are an important part of what we're doing. We just completed an RFP3 process, and we're going through the selection, down select now, a process of projects. And that RFP was very focused on workforce upskilling programs and credentialing programs, which we're hoping that people can take while they're still working, or they want to transition jobs. So we're very excited about that. Those are targeted for next year. But if you need stuff in the meantime, we have we can help point you to the right resources. Let me see. Definitely come and join the ecosystem for that. We actually want more community colleges involved here. We have a few, but we can always use a few more. How are the developed materials leveraged by other educators? Well, so I talked about the CESMII repository for educators. Joe mentioned that he not only is making a lot of his work available, but he also created training. He did training sessions with other educators. And Joe, maybe you want to also share how I think some other educators have approached you to learn more about your program, right?
Yeah, and it always varies. Once we go through sort of the material, typically it gets their sort of wheels turning and they think about how to adapt and construct materials around their own projects, their own equipment and courses. But at least they have all of the stuff in the repository that Conrad's been collecting that is available. And so I can provide tips and tricks. But I also, it's an open invite to sit with anybody and talk to them about the materials for this project and how you can integrate it into your coursework.
And I think one of the persons here asking a question is giving you some ideas for a next project. See, can you also create a machine for printing or injection molding? I don't know. Can you do a benchtop kit for that too, and keep it under 10K, please? What do you think, Joe?
Well, I actually think a lot of the other programs you're sponsoring are having various different pieces of demo equipment, and we need that. I think as educators need access to a repository of data and examples for various production processes.
Yes,
because that's what people want to know right away. You know, how can I make my heater better, or my oven? How can I make my extruder better, or my 3D printer better? So I think we'll just grow and capture all of those examples as best we can.
And that is a great point. One of the things we're working on and with a lot of the innovation centers is let's create virtual reality models or augmented reality models that replicate these industrial assets and capture some of that real data, but make it available in a virtual system that could be leveraged at community colleges that don't have those industrial assets. So those are some of the projects that we got going on to make more hands-on education available at a national scale. So I'm going to, I think that we've covered most of these questions already. So I think I want to thank everyone for joining us. And I want to remind everybody that November 9th is actually day 3 of the conference. So we continue our conference on November 9th. I mean, there's a lot of training on November 10th, and this is all about education today. So please remember that you have to register for each morning and afternoon session, but I hope to see you next week too. And thank you, Joe, again.
Thank you, Conrad.